Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Laura. I'm a content strategist for travel influencers, and I build travel influencer businesses. But today's episode is going to be a little bit different. I'm not coming at you with so much great advice, but more so I want to tell you what it's been like to balance a full client load, to balance a business, to travel full-time at the same time while doing it. See, I can't even form a sentence. See? That's what it's like. So we're cozy, we're comfortable over here, but I wanted to kind of just have a little chit chat with you about what this experience has been like for me. Besides being brutally hard, I want to set the context a little bit. So I have been traveling since the summer of 2021. And by that, I mean, I have not spent more than 3 weeks in one place. So it wasn't like I necessarily was always trying to be in a bunch of these different places all the time. It was just kind of happening to me. Friends would invite me on trips, or I would be going somewhere for work, or I would want to go somewhere, so I would go or drag somebody with me. But that's kind of honestly what it's been like for the past, 4 years now. And then, so August of 2024, I drug my boyfriend out of our Boston apartment and into a rooftop tent that we have on our Toyota Highlander, and we drove around the country for months. Right now, I'm recording this at the end of January for you, and we do not, January 2025, and we still don't, have a home or have a one set place where we sort of exist and can have routine. No, we just we visit family, we visit friends. We're waiting to figure out what to do next. So it's been really hard, I would say, to try and grow a business or even just manage one while on the road. And I don't think it's something people talk enough about, because most of the time people are like, oh my gosh, look, I am a digital nomad. I have been traveling and doing this business thing for a long time, and this is how I do it. It's amazing. I work 2 hours a day, and this is my life. And I don't want to necessarily discredit these people, because I think that, yeah, it is probably possible to work 2 hours a day and have this amazing creator business. Sure. But that was not my reality. I knew going into our adventure that it was going to be really hard. We knew we were going on this sort of adventure for a year. So it wasn't like this just happened randomly. I had a long time to prepare for this, and I knew mentally it was going to be pretty tough. And in February of 2024, so we were leaving in August of 2024. In February of 2024, I decided to outsource work to somebody, and she was great in the beginning. And then she just ghosted me. And it was just the weirdest thing ever, and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but it was just odd that this grown woman who actually has a business that helps other women in business just fell off the face of the earth. Very odd. Anyway, I had talked to her and was like, I am hiring someone because I have a lot of work to do, and we are going on this adventure, and I am very realistic, and I know we're not going to have 6 hours for me to work every day. That's just not possible, nor is it necessarily what I want to be doing. So I had set this woman up with all of this information on recurring projects, what I would need help with, all this stuff. And it was really great for a little bit. And then, like I said, she fell off the face of the earth. So then I was stuck with doing everything again on my own, and frankly, getting more busy. And we were going on this trip, and we were trying to manage also we didn't just leave on a trip. We literally packed up our entire apartment, moved, had a moving day from hell. Moving sucks anyway. Just dealing with storage unit, and then it was a lot. It was a lot to try and pack up an apartment and pack your entire life into a car. We haven't seen our storage unit since the summertime, so I hope it's still in there. And I think I know where the keys are, a mess. So we go on our trip, and honestly, it's fun and it's fine, and we are having the time of our lives. But on the work side of things, it was more so And I guess if you're trying to plan a trip like this, or I just more like maybe want to sympathize with people who travel full time and have like these businesses or freelance or things like that, what it's really like, because there's so many times where, oh, you think you found a place to work, and then, you know, you read so many reviews of so many different places, and then you get there and like the Wi-Fi doesn't work that well, or it stops working mid whatever you're doing, or it's so loud, or there's literally no outlet. Like that kind of stuff just like does you over. And so I have spent the last, X months that we've been traveling really doing all of the client work and all of the deadlines, and I wasn't working on anything for myself or like for my business. I was working in the business rather than working on my business, and that is really hard, and also like really kind of a motivation sucker, because you're constantly just like having to be on top of all these things and having to send things all the time and working for other people rather than like working for myself, which is why I started the whole thing. So that was a little bit difficult, and I don't think that's something people mention when they're about to go out on this grand world adventure and work for themselves, is that a lot of the time you don't have enough bandwidth literally to do your own work or do the projects that need to do. You just barely have enough time to do the work that needs to be done, rather than do the work that you might want to do, or like do the creative projects you want to do. For example, I edit a lot of video content for clients. I cannot say that this is one of my favorite things to do. This is not very fun for me, but I had a lot of video content to edit when we were on the road, and finding the time to edit it, I mean, like, just my hotspot would run out of data. I couldn't do it unless I was in a cafe sitting somewhere. But when I was in a cafe sitting somewhere, that often meant I had meetings, because that's when I knew, like, okay, I have meetings I can take. Let's do them while I'm at this cafe. So it's just like this insane balancing act that is so crazy. And honestly, reverse episode, little moment, I would love advice, tips from you listeners who have been doing this for a while. Like, how do you freaking manage all this stuff? This is so insane. So like I said, now we don't have a home base necessarily, but we are inside people. I am trying to not travel as much, which is kind of funny, but there's just so many projects and things that I want to work on for you that require me to be in a place with stable Wi-Fi, and honestly, I'm not mad about it, because I'm trying to like work so hard. My little like goal, or little like inside joke is I want to work as hard as Nora Roberts has. Like she's like that author. I don't know anything about her. Maybe she's controversial, but she has like a zillion books published, or like James Patterson or something. Like they have so many books, it's like unbelievable. I'm like, this is my Nora Roberts like era. Like I am her, just like working away. So I'm trying to like bury myself in that a little bit in a way that is still fun and like not necessarily burning myself out, because I want the summertime to be more freeing. And I think that's kind of the best part of working for yourself, is that you can choose to say no to things, or like, okay, great, I'm not going to be working in the summer because I don't freaking want to. That being said, the amount of burnout I felt when we were traveling was probably, I don't even know if it was burnout. It was just like so much overwhelm of what needed to be done, and me not having the capacity to do it, yet also wanting to enjoy the beautiful, insanely awesome places that I was visiting at the same time. And then that would cause me to feel annoyed that I was annoyed at myself in this situation. Like I was annoyed that here I was living the dream. This is all I wanted to do, to travel, to like explore the US in this car, to see all these beautiful things, to have the freedom and the time to do it. That's all I wanted to do, and we did it. And yet I was feeling so like, oh my God, this is so hard and I have so much work to do. And so I was annoyed at myself for feeling that way, because here I was in this like amazing privileged situation, yet feeling so defeated. So that was a whole nother like mental gymnastics I had to play all the time. We'd be like looking at this beautiful thing, and in my head it's like, oh my God, I have to do that thing. Or like, when am I when am I going to be able to get that done? Looking back, I don't really even know how I did it. I think it really forced me to say no to more things. And so if you want a really extreme way to make yourself not a people pleaser, go on a trip like this and do your workload. And this is really difficult. I don't know if I have so much actionable advice from this, and I don't think every podcast episode has to, but I just wanted to tell you kind of what my experience was like living on the road, not sleeping in the same place every night while trying to work. I did work at times in the tent late at night, things like that, but it was not ideal, and I would not recommend the next time I'm going out on this sort of adventure, because now I bought a camper, by the way. She's so cute. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll put a picture of her here. Her name is Luna. She is a teardrop trailer. She is, if you really want to know, she's a Tab Dutchman, and I miss her. She's so cute. She's hanging out at my parents' house right now, keeping them company. But in the summertime, I want to take her out and about, and I want to just have the work I want to do be for myself. One of my goals this year is every single month I'm taking a full week to just work on my business, and I'm telling my clients I'm not available. I am out of office, and that's when I am making mad progress on my goals. So maybe that's something you want to do. I understand that also comes from a privileged situation of having the ability to say no to work on what I want to work on, but it's also the huge mental battle again, going back and forth of I know I need to do the work that will bring me money, but I also need to work on the things that will make me more money later that are not paying me anything right now. I think that's the hardest part of working for yourself, is trying to balance those things. It's every day is a different emotional roller coaster, honestly. And that doesn't change when you're living on the road. People will always say, if you want to start van life, the saying is this beautiful place won't change your problems will follow you on the road. I will say that's true to an extent. There definitely were some beautiful places that I was I think I'm cured. But yeah, the workload and trying to manage that is a battle that will forever remain. And there's this little graphic. I will also put it on the screen if you're on YouTube. And it is really beautiful. There it says the perfectionist, and there's just this tiny little arrow. Then there's the procrastinator, and there's no line or progress at all. And then in the middle, there's the iterator, and it's this huge wavy line that eventually skyrockets up. And I think that's a nice testament to kind of what we're trying to figure out as we work and live on the road full time and never know where we're going next, literally. I think that's a really sweet sentiment. And also just wanted to let you know that if you are working on the road, trying to build your empire like we all are, I see you. I see you. I am right there with you. I am not better than you at this at all. I just simply share. I would love to know what your experience has been like doing this. If you have other questions about how the hell I lived in a rooftop tent for months on end, let me know, because I will be having my boyfriend Matt on to talk about this whole experience with me. But if you have specific questions about either what I did to try and manage workload, which honestly was just chaos, so I don't even know, but, or if you have questions about what it was like to live like that, I would be happy to answer them. But I hope this episode kind of gave you more insight into, I don't even know. I hope this episode helped you see that you are not alone if you're trying to build something on the road. I 1000% get it. There were a million times I cried, just what are we doing? I just want to stop and I want to be home. I want to be home so bad. So I see you. I am there for you. If this is you, send me a message on Instagram. I would love to commiserate with you. I get it. And if you're living out of a suitcase or a backpack in Southeast Asia right now, 1, jealous, 2, you can do it too. I'm currently living out of a backpack also. I understand what it's like to have one sweater. I get it. So I see you. I feel you. I wish you the happiest of creating you can have this week, and I will see you soon.